Welcome to Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Cary Quashen along with my co-host Michael Dougherty. We actually call him the Silver Fox. And before we go on and give you all the why we're here and all that stuff, I want to give you an update on the fire. There's flare-ups reported at Running Horse Lane north of Clarita Canyon, which was evacuated Saturday afternoon. If you are still in the area, leave now if it's safe. Leave now if it's safe. You may need to shelter in place. It's really getting pretty bad, guys. If there's evacuations, you really shouldn't be there. Yeah, I mean that's for sure. All remaining summer school classes at Golden Valley High School will be moved to La Mesa Junior High beginning Tuesday morning. That's tomorrow. The details of transportation, lunch, and classroom logistics will be released by 2 p.m. today. And it goes on. KHTS 1220 co-owner Carl Goldman is reporting from the scene. Robinson Ranch looks okay for now, and the fire helicopters are continuing to pick up water in the area. Goldman is also reporting a number of flare-ups around Sand Canyon, and that firefighters appear to be letting the canyons in the Clarita Canyon area near East Walker Ranch burn. They're letting it burn. Okay? Causing very heavy smoke heading towards Fair Oaks Ranch. There's smoke everywhere, aren't there? So we really need to kind of limit. I'm going to let Michael finish this one, and I could talk too. But we really need to kind of limit the going outside and doing any kind of activities and stuff like that, especially if you're having any kind of asthma or any of that stuff. The air quality is not very good. Mike?
Goldman stressed that this smoke is not the fire and does not believe Fair Oaks Ranch is significantly impacted at this time, and said that most of the burn in Clarita Canyon appears to be heading toward the San Fernando Valley. The Metrolink Antelope Valley line train service will operate Monday between Villa Princesa and Los Angeles only. Air quality will be unhealthy for all individuals in the Santa Clarita Valley and for sensitive individuals in the San Gabriel Valley and San Gabriel Mountains today, according to the South Coast Air Quality Management District. The Sand Fire Smoke Advisory issued July 23rd is still in effect. Residents with heart disease, asthma, or other respiratory diseases are advised to minimize outdoor activities.
Limit your exposure, guys.
Absolutely. Schools with children who have sensitive conditions, including heart disease, asthma, and other chronic respiratory diseases, should not participate in outdoor physical activity and should stay indoors as much as possible. No new containment figures or numbers of acres burned in the sand fire is currently available. The latest information is 33,117 acres burned and 10% containment.
It was insane. I'll tell you, I live on Iron Canyon, and I pulled up Saturday, and my front yard was on fire. The neighbors were putting it out, and then we helped and went into the backyard, and it was burning like crazy. My fence was on fire, the trees were on fire, the whole field behind. So a friend of mine, Daniel, and my son Sean and I, we grabbed garden hoses and we put it out. Literally, we put it out with garden hoses. It was insane. Unfortunately, not everybody on my street made it. There was a couple of structures that were lost, and somebody had lost his life. So when they're saying evacuate, guys, you might want to be safe and get out of there. It's better to take care of your life than anything else. Everything else you can get. So really be safe and be careful out there. Do we have somebody calling in? Carl's on the phone. Hold on. Let me grab my my headphones. And Carl Goldman is in the field, and I think he's joining us. Carl?
Cary, how are you doing?
I'm good, Carl. How's it going? Are you safe out there?
I'm safe. It's pretty gnarly is the best word I could describe. I'm just now exiting Sand Canyon after spending all morning in there. And the Clarita area, if you're looking to the east now, you can see that wall of smoke that's taking place. And it's because that whole area by the East Walker Ranch and near the El Chaparral homes, the Clarita Nature Center, that entire backside is up in significant flames. Firefighters are dropping a lot of water on that with both helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. even here at the Vons, the smoke is just coming over here as well as I pull in. But heavy fire on both sides of Plaza Rita, and an army of vehicles over there. The other concern is the winds have started picking up, and there are flare-ups all over. As we drive down both Sand Canyon, we saw a few flare-ups. We over by Warm Springs, there were more flare-ups right near Plaza Rita and Sand Canyon. But the fire department is right there, and if the second something flares up, they are pouncing on it. With the high winds, I would say, I mean, they haven't issued a decision yet on whether they're going to lift the evacuations or not. But just from my seat, I think it's going to be difficult for that to happen for many hours still.
All right. Hey, Carl, you lived up here for a long time, and there's been quite a few fires. This is about the worst, isn't it, Carl?
Yeah, in 2007, October, we had 3 of these fires going simultaneously, encompassing all of Santa Clarita, but certainly a fire on this side of the hill and covering the eastern side of Santa Clarita. This is the worst we've ever had it. And the thing that, as I talked to the fire officials, they said because of the conditions and because of the winds, it's been very unpredictable. Even for them, they can map out a strategy, and then all of a sudden something else erupts, or some shift takes place, or it does something funky that they haven't prepared themselves for. As I said, this fire has acted like a slinky, jumping from Santa Clarita down to Fillmore, back to Santa Clarita, up to Acton. Now it's back down on the other side, getting near the Plaza Rita Nature Center and Walker Ranch, and there's still a lot of fuel that hasn't burnt, and so right now the firefighters are being smart about it because I think of the unpredictability of it and the fact that we have so many hot spots, and right now it looks like the winds are going to pick up. There is no future time for when they're planning to allow residents back in.
Carl, this is Mike. I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, KHTS's coverage of this has been absolutely phenomenal. You guys have done a fantastic job keeping everybody apprised of what's going on, because this is a real trial for our community, and you guys are just right there helping everybody to figure out what road they can use and what they can't, and all of that. Thank you from the community.
Yeah.
Well, certainly this is our job, and we're here to be the voice and now with the new media, the eyes and the ears. I just went through. We drove. The officials allowed us to drive all the way down Plaza Rita, and we took video of this.
Oh, wow!
And literally with fire on both sides, and the heat was so intense. As I'm driving, and when you drive through it, it's like a furnace hitting your face, even hitting my face. Even as I'm driving through with the window shut and the air conditioning on full blast.
It still burns your skin, yes. It burns your skin.
Exactly. And as we're sitting here in the Vons shopping center, we're just watching ashes coming down like snow here, and people have handkerchiefs over their mouths because the air quality is really bad.
Well, we need to make sure you're safe. So we know you're reporting news and taking out, but please watch yourself out there.
We're being careful and only doing what the firefighters are allowing us to do. So, and they've been the heroes. They are the guys. We've watched them battle. In fact, a few minutes ago, we were watching them protect homes all along the Chaparral neighborhood. Literally at every single street, there was a truck. We're seeing trucks all the way up from Arroyo Grande and then south down through Costa Mesa, literally all over the Southland and throughout California. We're seeing different fire trucks there, and these guys are right there on the front line, standing on the hillside and protecting our homes. I've watched them protect vehicles. And where fire's gone, you can see where the fire has gone and burnt right up to the edge of a fence, or to the front of a car, and yet the cars all are in great shape.
Yeah, when I got home Saturday, my place was on fire, the fence in the yards, and we were putting it out with garden hoses, and then it turned, and thank God the fire department finally showed up, and they just finished it off. So it was pretty insane, I'll tell you that. They're really, God bless them, they're our heroes, aren't they?
Absolutely, and that, just as we're speaking, we're watching the winds kick up even more. They're heading up toward the Antelope Valley, so all that smoke and debris and the ashes that are currently burning over in the Walker Ranch area, again, that's over by Placerita Nature Center and the Chaparral area. That's where the big flames are, and the unburned fuel is still happening over there. But the winds are now pushing that smoke and the ash all the way up through now the northern part of Canyon Country, and I imagine it's working its way up into Agua Dulce and Acton, where they have their own fire, their own part of this fire going as well.
Yeah, so people really should stay inside and limit their exposure to this air.
Absolutely. And as you're driving, make sure you have the recycled air on. You don't want to be sucking in this air, but by all means, and think I'm going to right now swing by our house and try and get in and just check it, because I know our area over at Fair Oaks is still under evacuation, but I want to take a look and check that. And we've been checking a number of homes in the Sand Canyon area and along Placerita. They're also the hillside going up behind Sable Ranch to Camp 9. About halfway up that hill, there are big walls of fire climbing that part of the hill, but it looks like Camp 9 is not going to be impacted with that one burst. But this, as I said, this thing is very unpredictable. I just drove away, and in the 5 minutes I have been speaking with you, I'm sure if I drove back, the dynamic would be changed completely.
And there just doesn't seem any lack of fuel for this fire. I mean, everything is so dry out there. This is really what's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, tremendous amount of fuel. There's all the open space. Of course, you have the Angeles Forest that extends all the way from Santa Monica to the Nevada border, going that way, and then we have the crest of the mountain that then takes us down into the Sylmar area down by the 210. So there's a lot of acreage that has not burnt at all. Even though we have miles and miles of acres that have already burnt, as it's jumped around back and forth and up through Acton and Agua Dulce, there's still a lot that can burn.
No, we have over 33,000 acres involved. What's the latest number?
That was also I heard on the radio that on KHTS, I think that there's over 800 firefighters up here.
Yeah, easily. And we're seeing is that fire trucks from all over the place. There was a little break in the action earlier this morning. The winds were calm, and just in front of, by your house, Cary, in front of Fire Station 123, I counted 40 fire trucks. And then they brought in one of the big bulldozers came in, and then as the winds kicked up, we saw 3 or 4 helicopters and at least 1, if not 2, fixed-wing aircraft as well, battling each of these bursts that are taking place.
And we want to say to everybody out there, if you've been told to evacuate, get out.
You know what else I wanted to say? Our thoughts and prayers are out for the family that lost a loved one.
Yes.
That I needed to say that.
Yeah, it was very, very tragic, and we also know that one horse died here, and we're not clear how many of the 18 homes or the 18 structures that have been burnt. That includes some of Little Tujunga, and it includes some outhouses we know that had burnt off of Oak Spring Canyon that were cabins. So we don't know how many are actual residents and how many are cabins and how many are actually in Sand Canyon and Placerita versus some that may be down Little Tujunga. But we do know it's a total of 18 structures, and we've seen at least, I want to say, about 7 actual homes in Sand Canyon that have burnt down that we know of.
7 that you actually seen burned? Oh, wow.
Right, 7 so what I'm saying is of the 18 structures, we can identify 7 of those as being home in Sand Canyon, in what we're calling Sand Canyon Placerita, in this neighborhood.
Wow.
Out of the,
How
out of
horrible.
it's very, very sad, and we'll be spending many weeks and months as we go through, from this crisis mode as we switch over to recovery. We'll be spending a lot of time talking about that, and I know you guys will be around there to help as well.
Absolutely, and whatever we can do. And hey, don't hesitate to call if you're up there and you need help. Make a phone call. Don't keep yourself in any kind of harm's way.
No, don't do that.
And
Absolutely.
And if you're decided that you want to stay in places that are evacuated, you might want to kind of get your animals out of there just in case too.
Yeah, it's interesting. Probably about, as you know, Cary, just driving down Sand Canyon, there are a lot of horse ranches there and a lot of stables that house other people's horses, and probably about 60% of those have been evacuated, but about 40% still have their horses there.
Yeah, not good. I mean, it's pretty dangerous, and there are places that are accepting horses right now and stuff like that. So you need to look
and we
into
just
that.
got word the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds is still right now the best place to bring your horses, because they still have plenty of room. A lot of the other locations that have been evacuated are at full capacity. So if you do want to take your horses out right now, I would recommend taking it up to the AV Fairgrounds.
Right, and we have a place up at Action. We have some stalls and stuff like that. So if we run out of spots, let me know, and I can make room for at least 20 or 25 horses.
That'd be awesome. So anyone listening, call the station, and we can at 298-1220, and we can facilitate that. Hey, I'll let you guys do your show, and as things change here, we'll check back in.
All right, thanks for all you do, guys. You, Carl, and all your news crew.
Stay safe.
You got it.
Stay safe.
Take care, guys. You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Wow, pretty. What do you say? Wow, that's what you say. Pretty.
It's been a wild weekend, and it looks like we're in for a little bit of a wild beginning of the week.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does not look like this is going to slow down.
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. It looks like it might get worse before it gets better. So hold on to yourselves. Be safe. Make sure you're taking care of your business and watch your neighbors. That's really all you can do. Are we going to take a break, or are we going to stay on? Stay on? So okay, Mike.
Yes.
Do your action. We have some guests here.
We do.
And they are wonderful. So I want to make sure that we have time to deal with that. So let's forget everything else. You
Okay.
Do that? Do your quick action item, and then let's bring our guests on.
Well, before I do the action item, Cary, I just want to remind our listeners out there that, during this 1 hour show, according to the Center for Disease Control, we're not making this up, every 19 minutes someone in the U.S. dies from an accidental drug overdose. So during our 1 hour show, 3 people will die of an overdose. And if you look at the clock, we've already lost one. Isn't that
that's more than car crashes and gun violence. People are screaming about gun violence, and I agree with that. But let's scream even louder about drug overdoses right now, because we're losing more people to drug overdoses than anything else right now. It's crazy.
It is.
But on the good part, there's a lot of lives being saved.
That's true.
Yeah, and we got 2 smiley faces right here, which you will be able to watch on TV.
We're going to introduce them
next week when we're on, but you'll be able to hear about them in a minute.
Yeah. We have an action file, and this is actually some guy, an Action Family Counseling founder and CEO. I think I heard his name was Cary Quashen.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Cary, it's you.
Oh, no. What did
hey.
I say?
Well, you were talking about that state ballot measure to legalize marijuana.
Right.
Yeah, then they interviewed you about that, and you were talking about it's not the legalization that worries you.
No.
It's a lack of concern about the drug.
And that's really the truth. I mean, I've been in the field of treatment now for over 30 years. And when it used to be somebody would go, oh, my God, my kid's smoking dope, and everybody would be panicked. Now, he's only smoking pot. But with the potency of the marijuana today and what's going on, let me tell you, I was watching some of the stuff on Facebook where people comment, well, it's better than pills. So what does that mean?
What does that
So
mean?
one's worse than the other, so it's okay to use one because it's not as bad as the other?
Does that mean it's better to get cut with a razor than a chainsaw?
Yeah, so that makes no sense. Here's a fact. I work with people, period. I deal with children that are using drugs, period. I see what's going on with these kids that are smoking this pot. It isn't good, period. Right. They're losing their motivation. Their short-term memory is gone. Their long-term memory is gone. They're dropping out of school. They're dropping out of sports. Nothing seems to be important anymore. And is it a gateway drug? Well, I don't know that everybody that smokes pot's going to be a heroin addict, but I can tell you this. Almost every heroin addict I ever met started with cigarettes and pot. So what is that saying? So again, I'm not that concerned if it's legalized or not. What I'm concerned about is wow, I'm losing my mind today. I'm displaced.
You were one of those unfortunate people that had to leave their home.
Yeah, I'm more concerned of what people are thinking about the drug.
Yeah.
It's not really a drug. Well, you bumped your head. I'm admitting people to my treatment centers for marijuana addiction and dependency and abuse.
Right.
I see what's going on. So, get your head out of wherever it is.
Let me ask you a question, Cary.
I can't say the word on the radio.
Let me ask you a question, Cary.
Yeah, ask me.
What do you say to somebody that says, "Oh, this is just coming from a guy that owns a rehab"?
Say, yeah, I wish you could sit in my pocket and see what this guy that owns a rehab has to deal with every day. The broken lives, the destroyed families, the arrests. I can go on for days. So, yeah. And I'll tell you what, I'm in business. Yeah. And you guys that are smoking pot and using drugs, you keep me in business. But I would love to see myself out of business. I would love to see myself out of business. I would love to see no need for rehabs. That would be my goal.
And for anybody sitting out there saying, yeah, sure, I can tell you, I know you, and you are talking from your heart right now.
I am. And
you're not talking from your pocket.
But Mike, I don't really care who believes me or not, because the people that question me are people that are probably smoking pot and in denial. So enjoy yourself. Hey, but let's go back to our show.
All right.
I don't want to debate any of that stuff today. If you want to debate, call me 6617-133006. I'll be glad to debate.
All right. Well, we've got two wonderful guests with us today who are going to talk about the fact that they are in recovery. They've been in rehab.
That's right. And Sage, introduce yourselves and your ages and stuff.
Hi, I'm Sage. I'm 19.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Alyssa, and I'm 17.
And I've known you both for a long time, haven't I?
Yeah.
Alyssa, I remember, actually, you called me almost a year ago. Do you remember that conversation?
I do. I kind of don't.
Well, tell us what you remember.
I remember I was at a point of desperation where I actually wanted to get clean, because before I felt like it was just I never really took it seriously, and I got to this point where I came to the realization that it was just going to get worse from there, and it was already bad already.
What does that mean?
The furthest it could go from there was just probably death.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But I do remember you. I remember your
jail.
phone. You were pretty desperate.
Yeah.
You wanted to go to rehab, period. And you're 17 now, right?
Yeah.
So you were 16 years old. So a 16-year-old girl that picks up the phone and says, "Help me," that's pretty serious. Mm-hmm. What was going on? What were you using?
I was using heroin.
Okay. So people say, now I'm glad you said that. You're 16 and you're using heroin, right? Mm-hmm. People say, where do kids 16 years old get heroin? Where do they get it? I mean, I don't want names, but you know what I'm saying.
They're friends. They're so-called friends.
So it's not hard.
It's pretty easy to get in there.
Yeah, it's easy. You make friends who have friends who have friends, and you make friends with your friends' friends, and then you find your way.
So did you wake up one day and say, I'm going to shoot dope?
I did not.
What happened? I know. You were walking down the street, and you looked up into the sky, and a bong fell in your hands and said, "Smoke me."
That's exactly what happened.
Tell us what happened.
Well, I can remember from, I don't know, I had not the best childhood,
right.
But there was a lot of abuse and stuff, and I remember I always wanted to find something outside of myself that would make me feel whole and fill that void with something. So at first I realized it was food, mm-hmm. and I would eat food and it would make me feel like everything's okay for that moment, you know. And after that, I went to cutting. So I would start cutting, and then
What is that? I know what that means, but tell our listeners.
you cut yourself.
You mutilate yourself.
You mutilate yourself,
With
exactly.
razor blades or knives and stuff like that. And people say, why do people do that? Because physical pain kind of controls emotional pain.
Yeah, it was a way for me to like, and feeling that pain made me not think about all the other pain I had emotionally.
Exactly, right.
So that was my thing when I let go of the food. That filled that void for me. And after that, that's when I found drugs of all sorts, you know. And then I left those back there, and I was like, this makes me feel whole. This makes me feel good about myself. And not only does it make me feel whole and feel good about myself, I like getting high.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning to me earlier, you also liked the fact that you were accepted by the people that you were doing the drugs with.
Yeah, because I always felt like I could never accept myself, or I was never accepted by other people because I grew up a different way, you know, and that's why I had to find something outside of myself. And I felt like when I used drugs, everyone else who used drugs accepted me.
You fit right in.
I fit right in with everyone who did drugs. Not that, I was in the corner, that kid in the corner in the classroom, sitting all alone.
All alone by
know?
yourself.
Yeah.
You know, when people stop using drugs, it's you know, you got to surrender and give up the drugs, but it's just as hard to surrender and give up the life.
It is.
And I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, I don't even miss the drugs. I just miss the people, the stuff that we did, the excitement, the adventure, waking up trying to figure out where I'm going to get it and all that kinds of stuff. I mean, you go from the fast lane to the slow lane, it's like everything changes.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of relearn everything, yes?
Yeah, what I realized is nothing changes if nothing changes. And
Exactly.
in the past, when I wasn't taking anything seriously and I had been in rehabs before, you know, what I did is I would get out of the rehab. I wasn't really taking it seriously. Maybe I was for like a week, but after that I went back to all the same old people I was surrounding myself with, and
Right. You went into the Action Ranch.
I did.
How many days ago?
359 days ago.
And you're still clean and sober.
Yes.
All right.
What was different? She's got a year sober in like a week, dude. Hell, what was different this time? Why did you do it? I would love to give my staff credit. Good job, guys, but I want to give it to you.
What did I do?
What did you do different?
I took the action for myself. I decided I wanted to go into rehab. I didn't go run off.
Right.
I went in, and when I was there, I took things very seriously. And when I got out, they introduced me to a 12-step fellowship when I was in there, you know.
Right.
And when I'm in this 12-step fellowship, I got a sponsor, and I'm working these 12 steps, you know. And I've formed relationships with many people that have been there to help me and support me and continue recovery.
What do you think about the idea of kids smoking pot?
I don't think they should do it.
Why not?
Because, well, I don't know about them, but I know for me that I can't ever smoke pot. Because if I smoke pot, that's not enough for me. I'm always going to need something more. It's never enough for me. So I'm saying, what I think is, I think they shouldn't do it, because who knows, what if it's never enough for
So
them?
parents that say to themselves, my kid's only smoking pot. They got their kind of heads in the sand, don't they?
Yeah. And I've met people who,
Yeah.
their parents were okay with it, and then what do you know, they're doing meth, you know, and then their parents are like, how do I stop this, you know, and it's like, well, you let them smoke pot, you let them drink, now they think it's okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
parents, did you hear that? Get a grip. It's just pot thing doesn't work real well. We're going to go on break. We'll talk to both of you, and we're going to hear Sage's story too. This is Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.